楽しめそうね。実は。
Hey Octopath Traveler community, Silverox is here, and the unit coming this week to Octopath Traveler Champions of the Continent is the final CN exclusive unit that was that we do not have, being Levina EX, the Seductive Dancer. Please apologize any kind of lacking information in this, as this being a CN exclusive unit, I do have limited information in order to pull from to prepare this review before based on the announcement out in time. So what does Levina EX do? And yes, this is Levina EX1, as JP does have Levina EX2, so this is Levina EX1 for us specifically. For her role, she is a dancer, and her role is a fan DPS / physical defense down support is the best way I can put it. Her special abilities is that she can gain seduction points to augment skills and passive effects, to passively debuff enemy physical defense and increase active physical defense debuff cap to 50%. For preferred weapons, Brilliant Fans for pure DPS for damage cap. Fortune is fine if you are not reaching cap. Cosmic does not matter for the buff passive, as she does not have any buffs as a dancer. Preferred accessories would be damage cap if pure DPSing with fan, otherwise support gear, and a debuff extension accessory if you have an extra or her own A4. For her passive skills, her first passive is that when using skills, not attack but including her ultimate, gain 1 stack of seduction and have a moderate 50% chance to inflict charm on a random enemy for 2 turns. Her next passive is that she inflicts debuffs on all foes based on the amount of seduction stacks that she currently has. If she has 2 or more seduction stacks, inflict 15% passive fan resistance down. If she has 4 or more seduction, inflict 15% passive physical defense down. And if she has 6 or more seduction stacks, she will raise the active physical down debuff limit to 50%. And then her TP passive is that when she uses 3 BP, grant herself 15% physical attack up plus dead aim, plus gain 1 additional stack of seduction when using skills. So onto her skills. She has an AoE 20% fan res down debuff for 2 to 5 turns. Then she has a self 50,000 damage cap up, plus a ability to exploit dagger with skills for 6 turns buff. If you use at least 1 BP on this skill, she'll also exploit tome. If you use 2 or more BP, she will also exploit wind. And if you use 3 BP, she will also exploit lightning. And yes, if you use 3 BP, you'll get all of those. So you'll get dagger, tome, wind, and lightning. That she has a 4-hit random target dagger or a 2-hit AoE dagger that always shaves shields. This is randomly chosen between the 2. The skill is also, I believe, called Summon Piero Della, which is just like literally summoning that other family thief in, because apparently they're never going to be a unit, so they're just going to be a summon in this in Levina's kit instead, so why not? Then our next skill is at the end of every turn for 2 to 5 turns, perform a 3-hit AoE fan, plus gain 1 bonus stack of seduction, plus a 50% chance to inflict AoE 20% physical defense down for 2 turns. I do believe that the 6-star skill evolution of this actually makes this a 100% chance to inflict 20% AoE physical defense down instead. So this is basically the opposite of Swift Strikes. It's just a 3-hit AoE at the end of every turn for 2 to 5 turns, which is actually really good, because it's just 3 extra hits, and you can set this up before break to do extra 3 hits both turns of break. Then she has a priority inflict a single enemy with leg hold trap, which is minus 9,999 speed down, but since speed can't be negative, it just basically sets the speed to 0 for 2 turns. Then she has a 5-hit single target fan that if she has 9 stacks of seduction, consume 3 stacks to inflict 30% physical defense down before the attack. Then she has a 6-hit single target fan that with 9 stacks of seduction, she'll consume 3 to do 9 hits instead. This is her highest amount of hits, being a 9-hit attack. And before you wonder, well, how could you do this 2 times in a row? We'll get to that. There is a way to use that twice in a row. Then her 5-star skills are a 1-hit AoE fan that with 9 stacks of seduction consume 3 to absorb 3% of damage at HP and 1% as SP. And then she has a skill that reveals all weaknesses of a single enemy, then hits them with a 1-hit Giga Nuke fan, 1 times 630 power base, And if she has 9 stacks of seduction, consume 3 and increase the power based on the number of icons on herself up to 1.5 times, which is very easy to do, so it's basically a well over 1,000 power nuke. And then her TP skill is a 4-hit AoE fan that with 9 stacks of seduction, consume 3 to do 6 hits instead. For her EX skill plus ultimate technique, her EX skill is a 5-hit single target fan that inflicts charm for 2 turns. This skill has a 50,000 damage cap up. I apologize, I'm pretty sure that the EX skill, I'm not sure how many uses it has. It'll be announced with her kit, like when it's endgame, you'll be able to see endgame and before you use her. But I'd be willing to imagine that it's probably tied to how many seduction stacks she has to be unlocked. Her ultimate technique is a damage class ultimate called Ventaglio Letale. It's a 4-hit AoE fan that inflicts 15% physical defense down for 3 turns and grants self the ability to gain 1 additional stack of seduction with skills for 5 turns. This is at ult level 10. I don't know what it is at ult level 1. I'd imagine that's probably 10% debuff. And then ultimate level 20, the debuff increases to 20% for 4 turns, and the power just gets stronger. So the main thing about this ultimate is to grant self the ability to gain 1 additional stack of seduction with skills for 5 turns. So this is how you can able to like use her skills multiple times in a row and with max seduction and still be able to get all your seduction back, because you can like use a skill with like max boost to get the extra seduction point, the extra seduction from using a skill, and the extra seduction from this. So that you have 9 stacks, consume 3 to do 9 hits, and then you're getting 3 back, so that you're able to do the 9 hits both turns of break if you want, which if you have the 3-hit AoE at the end of turn setup, that's 12 hits both turns of break. But so it's a decent number of hits, but we'll cover why that doesn't make her amazing later though, still. Despite being a damage ultimate, this one charges like a support ult. So I believe it gains 40% charge per BP, 80% with AU, 4 BP to fully charge, 2 BP with AU. If this is slightly off, I apologize, but I do know that in CN and TW, when before Ultimate 20 was released, this was chargeable with only 3 BP to get it to 100%, like a support ult. So that was with Ultimate level 10. So that was like means that it probably kept the same support ult status over to ult 20. It's because even though it's a damage ult, it's in a way a support ult for her. So they made it to where it's really quick to fully charge, so you can get her ult off to get that extra ability to gain seduction faster, be my guess. Anyway, because it is a damage class ultimate, the 200% gauge activation is super burst. That means this ult gains a bonus 50% stackable potency up to its damage. For AU priority, I'd probably chase A4 first with any dupes you may get over time. So on to Awakenings plus her A4 accessory. A1 is better P attack to help with fan being weaker. A2 isn't necessary, it's luxury. A3, dancers are squishy, so extra HP always helps. Her A4 accessory is called the Eastern Shawl. It gives 70 P attack, 70 SP, and it increases duration of debuffs inflicted by 1 turn, and when using 3 BP, grants self 1 BP regen for 1 turn. The A4 and the A4 rating for this this A4 is honestly, it's an S tier A4, because any extension accessory, I'm so sorry, of any time is a good accessory. Granted, this is the 4th debuff available debuff accessory, so depending on how many you have already, it might have determined how valuable this is to you. However, that this might be the 4th one, but this one also gives 1 BP regen after using 3 BP, which is a very helpful thing as well. This unit is an Orstarian Memory Traveler, which means she can be exchanged for over time should you want this accessory. And like I said, its value depends if you need another one or you want to upgrade to have the bonus 1 PB regen effect. Otherwise, it can be safely skipped. And just for notice that the other 3 that are available, only 1 is uber limited. The other ones are very easy to get. 1 is super free to get, which is a 4-star A4, Kurtz's A4. It just requires you to have max HP, and then you get debuff extension. There is Haunted EX A4, which is a general pool unit. And then there's this one, and then the other 4th one, and then the other one before that would have been A2 A4, which is a collab limited A4, which a lot of people won't have, nor is it really reasonable to go for. For an optimal skill loadout, skill 1, end of every turn 3-hit AoE fan, adds a lot of extra hits, give extra seduction, debuffs physical defense, guaranteed, very good skill. Skill 2, self damage cap up plus weakness exploit buff, Unless you're using a build that specifically is giving her weakness exploits via other methods, this is a very good thing to just let her hit up to 4 more weaknesses to make it a lot more likely that she can cover more fights. Skill 3 to her 6 to 9 hit a single target fan, and skill 4 her 4 to 6 hit AoE fan. Mix that up as needed, because although you're gonna still want the self damage cap up skill regardless, just because that's 6 turns with no BP required, even if you don't need the weakness exploits, and she needs damage cut badly. For unit synergy, if you're using her for a pure fan comp, which is the only real use you would have at this point, would be you'd want to run her with like Bargello EX, Tatloch, Signa, Dark Priestess, Haunted EX, Molarusa EX are all good dancer options. And I say all that is because if you're running her in a fan comp for fan damage, then you need Bargello EX for his passive fan buffs for other dancers existing. As the more dancers that exist, the more follow-up attacks he can do when he max boosts, so therefore it's overall better. Then if you don't have a dancer for the 8th slot, then now take something like Sean or something like that. I'm gonna be completely real though, outside that, she really isn't worth taking much anymore. And the reason for that is in the to pull or not to pull plus overall rating. Levina EX is an amazing fan DPS, except that's just not a thing that's ever needed really. Being able to hit 12 times a turn set up properly isn't really enough. As a full DPS, she lacks innate damage cap and self-potency up, and while exploiting other weaknesses is easy, you can do that better with so many other teams. Her passive debuffs and stuff are fine if she released a year ago. Now it's not that needed. For a new account, her passive physical defense down would be great, but most established accounts now don't need that. So she's very cool, but no longer very good in a 4.0 coming on 5.0 meta era. But as always, pull advice is just advice. Please pull and have fun your own way. But my recommendations would be Tier 4 free to play skip, Tier 3 low to spin / passes skip, Tier 2 Dolphin A0 or skip for a paid selector, Tier 1 Whale A4 for the better debuff extension A4. Overall rating DPS B, support B, tank not available, heal not available, overall tier B. And you might be wondering why I put like the DPS in B. It's like, oh, she can hit up to 12 times a turn. Well, like I said, she's lacking damage and a damage cap, having only 50,000 bonus damage cap from an active buff she can give herself. And she has no self-potency up. Her base P attack is rather on the lower side. Fan damage means the fan weapons are also on the weaker side, even if you're using a brilliant fan. And her potencies aren't even that amazing to begin with. I mean, she needs potency up support to even be able to reach cap to do that much damage with 12 hits. So it doesn't matter that she has 12 hits. If they're not extremely strong hits, or even decently strong hits, she's going to struggle to cap. And that's just going to make her a lot harder to use, especially in an era when you could just use sword teams to do the same thing, or rainbow teams to do the same thing, with significantly stronger and easier to cap hits with units that all have innate damage cap and self-potency up. So yeah, unfortunately, she would have been a good unit if she released around the time CN got her, but for us, I'm glad that we're getting her for collection purposes, because I'm a unit collector myself, but for most accounts, she just exists. Like I said, at least she's an MT unit, so you might randomly spook her in the future, or if you're a collector and you want to get her off a paid selector, that's what I'm going to wait on. Even if it takes till December, I'll just wait and get it off a paid selector. I'm not going to just gamble for a unit. Then yeah, I mean, I don't know if we're going to get free pulls or not, like the other servers did. If we do, great, maybe we'll get lucky and I'll get her there, and if not, I'll wait for a selector like I said. Otherwise, please let me down below what you think of this unit. If you're going to pull for her, that's great. And remember, I mean, she has a really cute design, and if you really like Levina, there you go for it. And I wish everyone the best of luck, but otherwise, I don't think this is really worth your active rubies right now, because we're coming up in an era where Aviette's going to be soon, and Avar's probably going to be the half-Annie unit if he doesn't come sooner, and there's always a chance he gets Giga buffed. Final Fantasy VI collab is probably going to show up on the roadmap, and which could be any month now. I don't think it's going to be in May, but it could be as early as June or July, for all we know, so you got to be ready for that. And then shortly after Final Fantasy VI is the Sacred Hearts banner, and that's going to be amazing. Not to mention there's other good units after them, including other SMTs and stuff that have a really good damage cap A4s to exchange for. Like, I could make a whole video at some point about this, but I just want to make it clear that you got to be careful and save your rubies accordingly, not just pull willy-nilly unless you're able to spend. Otherwise, please like and follow and subscribe for more COTC content to come. All the support to the channel means the world to me. Please to anyone that checks out both sides of the channel as well for the Sonic voice acting side, I appreciate it a lot. Also, to help support this channel and all the things that we do for both COTC and the Sonic side, there is we did make a new Patreon to help support the channel. If that interests you, please check it out in the description below. And otherwise, I'll see everybody in the next video. Have a nice day. See ya.